Hey, you. Let's shift our reality.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey y'all, welcome back. It's me, Lonnie from ilovelonnie.com or Talk Lonnie the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about why I stepped back from tarot and readings. So I will just say that was one of my biggest transformations that I had getting into tarot and readings and understanding astrology more. Astronomy and tarot, the aspects and everything, the birth chart, just all of that. And I kind of was delving deep into that for a few years. It was a good time. I will say I have over 15 decks that I love so much, and I'm not gonna get rid of them, even though I step back from them. But I don't actively use them. I've always been into horoscope ever since a kid, and I ain't gonna lie, I still read my fortune cookies, but don't tell nobody. And don't let them forget to give it to me. I'm like, I need that. Give me that. Gotta have a fortune cookie. But I do understand that, the power still comes from me, of course. I just look at it as motivation because generally they're always positive, the fortune cookies, so you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, so I will say over the years I've learned and evolved. And something that I learned about tarot is that it's basically a tool, it's not the source. And during that time, I didn't know at that instance that I might have been low in energy when I was watching readings or looking for answers or looking for answers to questions or just answers in general, looking for confirmation, looking for hope, guidance, whatever it was. But I was looking for that within the readings, just looking for a sign always. And then I would allow the cards to kind of depict how my day was going to go, how my week was going to go, my month, my year, my love life, whatever it was, career, anything that I could just get answers from through the cards. And I didn't really realize at that time that I was putting all my power in the cards and not really into myself. During those times, I might have been low in energy or just lacking my confidence and everything. And then I started to realize that it's actually me that dictates all of these things that I was looking for within the cards. Like anything, how my day was going to go, how my week, year, month, whatever, love life. It was me who controlled that. Even if the cards had brought something forth, it's up to me to believe it. Hence to why readers will say only take what resonates, because they want you to only choose what you want to believe or receive what you want to believe out of it and leave the rest, right? Almost like a disclaimer. So I realized instead of picking and choosing what I want to believe, why don't I just tell myself, put the power back in myself, empower myself to tell myself what reading I want to believe on my own, basically, instead of looking for somebody else to tell me that. So not only is it basically removing the third party out of the situation, because that's basically what it is, like a third party. And we don't know what type of energy these people have. We don't know what they got going on in their own personal life and how they present themselves outside of a video. Basically, we only can see what they allow us to see, right? But we don't really know how these people manage their energy. And that's what I realized. Like, I don't really know what's going on with these people. And to be honest with you, the energy can also pick up in the cards and the readings. So I started to wonder if these readings were for me or coming from, them, or for them, should I say. So not only removing the third party, you are being more sure of what energy that you're receiving. You know what your energy is, but we don't know what their energy is. So it's like you can kind of control the situation a little better. Now, I will say I did start to feel weird, about certain readings, because I would be okay, if they saying something positive, but as soon as they start saying some crazy stuff, I'm like, I'll click off. Like, I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming that, because if it's negative, it's almost like somebody saying something negative to me. I don't like that. I'll correct you real quick. Like you can only speak positive, only speak light and love and all of that. If you speaking anything outside of that, I'm gonna be like, no, don't put that out there like that. Don't, say that. Say reverse that into a positive, basically. So it's the same as a reading. If you go and try to tell me some crazy stuff in a reading, then it's almost like somebody coming to tell me some crazy stuff in person. I'm not trying to hear that. So I will click off and ignore it. And I guess that's where the whole saying comes from. Take, what resonates or whatever. But then I started to realize, why pick and choose over somebody's reading and only take the good? For one, we do have to take the good with the bad, but I don't have to take your good with the bad. If it's going to be bad, it's going to be, coming from me. It's going to be something that I created, not something that somebody else planted a seed in for me, if that makes sense. So why claim any of it, the good or the bad? So let's say somebody said something bad. Have you ever had a reading that turned crazy all of a sudden? Just like, what? They trying to tell you, like, watch out for this, watch out for that. You got an enemy, or you're going to get into an argument with a coworker, or you need to watch out for your safety. Just all kind of crazy stuff. And then also, these cards go by how people depict them. You know what I'm saying? You can pull a card and one person can see the symbolism as one way, and you can pass that same card to another person, and that same person can see that symbolism in a whole nother way. So one person can read a card and get one meaning out of it or one interpretation out of it, and it not be the same as another person, if that makes sense. Everybody sees different things in the cards, and that also goes off of their perception of reality, also their energies, what they're noticing, what they feel, and things like that. And that's what we're banking on. We banking on how are they interpreting the cards. You know what I'm saying? So that's also almost like putting your life in somebody else's hands, basically. And it's a thin line with that. People do that with like relationships and stuff like that. But a complete total stranger, we should definitely be taking our power back and controlling our own life, putting the power back in our own hands, So why give somebody that power when you can be doing that same thing? And then it's limiting. Reading is very limiting, because you watch a reading, you only gonna get out of it what that person gives you. So what if you want more? What if you don't want a soulmate? What if you don't want to raise, but you want a brand new car or a house or something like that, but you only just going off of what readings is telling you? Do that mean you're not gonna get your house and your car because you don't think about it outside of somebody telling you that that's what you're gonna get? So don't limit yourself. When you come up with your own goals, come up with your own desires and all of that, it's limitless. You could think of whatever it is that you want in life and just work towards that. So basically, take your power back, empower your own self, do your own readings, be your own reader, be your own tarot card, if that makes sense. Remove the tools, remove the third party. Tell yourself that same exact thing that you're looking for in a reading. So say, for example, if it's a soulmate, the reading don't got to tell you that you're going to get a soulmate. And to be honest with you, even if the reading did tell you that you was going to get a soulmate, if you do get a soulmate, or when you do get your soulmate, it's not because the reading told you. It's because the reading told you something and you believed it. It put a feeling of belief in you, or a feeling of happiness, or whatever vibration that it caused you to be on. So now you're vibrating on the frequency of, oh, I'm about to find my soulmate. You happy, you waiting, you ready, right? You looking. So that's putting you on the vibration of those things, and that's based on the law of attraction. You're going to get that. That leaves divine no choice but to give that to you. So instead of waiting for a card to tell you that, why don't you tell your own self, if that's what you want, a soulmate? Wake up and thank you for my soulmate. I'm so happy I'm about to find my soulmate, and wait for it. Just as happy as you would be if the cards told you. Okay, wait for it and be on that same frequency as if the cards had told you that that's what you was gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So you're basically taking your own power back, and then now it's limitless, so you can pick whatever you want, whether it's a car, a house, extra money, a raise, whatever it is. Now you can pick what you want be just as happy about it as if the cards told you that's what you was gonna get, and then wait for it as if the cards told you that's what you was gonna get, and then that's what's gonna happen. You're on the frequency now of receiving that, and you're gonna receive it. It wasn't the cards, it was you the entire time. Okay, like I said, even if the cards bring something forth, they could bring forth anything. It's up to you to believe it, whether it's the good card or the bad card. If it came true, it wasn't because the cards told you. It's because you believed that it was going to come true. You put yourself on the frequency of that thing, that whatever that entity was, and then divine met you with that, and you manifested that, or it came into fruition. If you are having a time telling yourself something and then believing it and getting just as happy about it as if somebody else had told you that same thing, then that means you need to work on your own self-confidence, your self-concept, and self-love. All of those things are great areas to start with when you are struggling to tell yourself positive things and then believe in it, okay, and believe it's going to happen. So there are videos on my channel in regards to that, and more to come as well, but those will give you areas to start with. So like I said, remove the middleman, don't limit yourself, work on your self-confidence, your self-concept, and your self-love. I do have tips and other videos on how you can work on those things as well, so you can subscribe to my channel, which is Talk Lani, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you can visit ilovelani.com, and then my videos are there as well, along with other things. But thank you for being here again. See you in the next episode.